Okay, good morning. It's Thursday morning, April 3rd, I believe. And this is College Prep Statistics. So, before we start a little lesson today, why don't we review a few things? Number one is our grading system has changed. We are going to go with a 0, 1, or 2 grading system. Number two, the lessons are going to be sort of short and smart in more ways than one. And I am going to just give you a response problem that if you could get right back to me. Some of you are excellent. Within the hour, boom, it's right back at me. It'd be a whole lot easier to keep track of. Plus, give you the answers if you would get right back to me on that. So once again, if you could do that, I am going to try on Fridays to kind of tally the scores for the week and come up with a score. So if you could do that, if you could get that other problem in dealing with the weather, that would be great. All right, I think that's it. I hope everything is well with you. Today is kind of a miserable weather day, like we were talking about the weather last time. Today's kind of miserable, but we'll be all right. Let me introduce you to a guy I don't talk about much, and this is my other guy, my other cat, and his name is Tux. And he wishes you a good morning. My other guy, Mr. A, is not available right now. So here we go. When we were last together, which is a long time, we were working on chapter 14, which was the beginning of probability. Now, chapter 15 is very similar to it. And today I would like to go over one of the rules in chapter 15. And it is called the general addition rule. General addition rule, where you can add together any two probabilities provided that they are disjoint. Remember, disjoint was there was no intersection at all. Disjoint. If this was probability of A, B, we said we could just add these two together because there is no overlap. There is no intersection. Well, today, and also I would have you remind you with addition that the word or always talks of addition. Obviously, you're familiar with the good old plus, and the other one is union. Those three all mean addition. So today what I want to do is give you a little update on this rule, and it is when things aren't disjoint. When there is intersection, what are we going to do? So let me kind of erase this off. And let us start. First of all, let us think for a second. Let me think for a second. Two different events. How about, let me think. I should have thought of this before I came online, but I'm thinking now. How about students? Okay. Let's say back to school again. Back to school again. Let's say event A is that the student is an honor student. So A is an honor student. That means they really do well. Event B is they are an athlete. Okay, so honor student event A and athlete event B. Let's say, I don't know, we'll say 40, that's high. We'll go with 30%. 30% are honor students and 40% are athletes. Now here comes the big one that we have to talk about is the intersection. Let's say 10% are both. They are honor students and athletes. So we'll put the 10% right in here on the intersection. Everyone with me? Honor student here, 30% of students. And, oh, you want to get out, Tux? Come on, get out. Or you want to come in, Mr. A? Sorry. We're relaxed today. We're having a relaxed time. Honor student, 30%, athlete, 40%, both 10%. These are all given. Now let's talk about some problems that might come out of this. First off, I would have you to be able to finish the Venn diagram, which the first thing would be what percent are honor students only, but not athletes? What would you do? Take the 30%, subtract the 10%, and get 20%. And how many are athletes? 40% minus the 10% is 30%. Now, if you remember last time, the last chapter, we had something called the something has to happen rule. And we can find out what percentage of students are not athletes or they're also not honor students by this area here is what I'm looking at. And let's call that 20, 30, 60. So 60 are, so 40% aren't. So if I ask the question, what percent are not athletes or honor student, you would say 40%, okay? Everyone with me so far? So the general addition rule here is basically making sure that you don't count this twice. You don't count the intersection twice. And remember that, okay? Don't count it twice. Let's keep thinking then. So from this, we can come up with some questions. Let's start with my first question. And I think I'm going to do your problem similar to this. I'm just going to mix the numbers up a little, but the questions will remain the same. Question number 1. What percent are honor or, keyword or, athlete? Honors or athlete. Now the or, sometimes people get confused and think it's got to be one or the other, but not both. But that is not the case here. We are going to add everything. So 20, 10, 30, 30 is 60. Answer, 60%. Everyone with me? Good. Will you quiet down out there? That's my joke of the day. I don't have to say that anymore. All right, number 2. what percent are athletes only? Athlete only. Okay, what percent are athletes only? And we already did that, didn't we? The Venn diagram is done. We subtract the 30, the 10 from the 30, and we get 20%. Question 3. Question 3. Oh, come here. Would you like to? I've spoke of her this year too, Mrs. Childs, and that's her right there, Mrs. Childs. Some of you might recognize her. Question number 3 is what percent are, hold it. I see an error here. I had nobody to catch me on this. Back at it, back up. Athlete was B, not A. All right, so I made a mistake here. Athletes, 40 minus the 10 is 30. That would have been awful to send this video with an error in it. And then how about honor only? You take the 10 from the 30 and get 20. And finally, not honor or athlete. And we already figured that out as 40. So let's review kind of what we've gone over today. And this is the general addition rule. And what is different than the regular addition rule we had earlier is the whole idea of intersection. And we have intersection, so we have to say they are not disjoint. Therefore, we have to be careful not to count this area twice. So what I am going to do now is change the numbers and have you do this problem over again. See, I want to review. Those of you who are worried that we're going to move on to new material and you're going to have difficulty doing it and you aren't going to get the help you need, don't worry. These problems, I am moving ahead with the curriculum, but I am going to be very direct with the nothing tricky, and I am going to do a problem, and I just want you to mirror the same problem so you get exposure. So next year when you go to college, like you'll say, hey, Mr. Childs showed me that general addition rule. That is my goal, not to overburden you with a lot of extra problems. So that should give you incentive to do these quickly and get them done, because I would really like that. So why don't I do this? I'm going to change, and I'm going to change A and B. And here we go. Let's say that things, all right, we'll just erase this. You can make your own Venn diagram. And remember, you can always look back. See, at school, you can't rewind and look over what I said. I don't know if you'd want to or not, but you could. You can now. You can rewind and see what I said earlier. So why don't we say this? Honor students, shut the door. Honor students. Honor students 50%. We're going to say things are better at Erskine. And athletes are 60%. And both very active group will say 30%. 30%. That's, oh no. That's a 30%. So write that down. I will put that in there again. 0.30. Okay, so once again, I would like you to, for a little quiet, give me a Venn diagram. Let's make sure this works. So 51, 10, 80. All right, good. It will work. Question number one, what percent are honor roll or athlete? Question number two, athlete only. Question number three, honor only. And question number four, not an honor or an athlete. Okay. All right. Now I want to leave you. This is very informal today. Notice I'm trying to be informal. So I want to leave you. Oh, hold it. Let's do this. Let's leave you with a song. I think I sang it earlier, and it's so much more applicable now. Let's see if I can remember the words. I'll kind of sing it, not really sing it. So hell, heaven from hell, blue skies from pain. Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail? A smile from a veil. Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts? Hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change. Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in the cage? Now, this is the part you want to get. Oh, how I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year. There you go. Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. And I wish you were here. Sometimes everyone, I don't want to go to school. But guess what? This isn't all that much fun either. So I've had fun doing this video today. And you can actually, if you give me some response like, wow, I didn't like that, or I like that, that would make me feel better too, as I've tried to make you feel better today. So get that problem right back to me. See you later. Over and out.